Alright, the guys, that's our good guys show for today. But don't go away, because we've got a very important good guy message just for you.
It's not hyperbole to say that Child's Play has a message for you.
Hi, I'm Oscar, and I'm your friend to the end.
Hidden under the guise of a slasher film about a killer red-haired doll is an important commentary about the way we live in modern society. And the deeper you dig, the more tinfoil you'll need for your hat. Child's Play could have easily turned into a B-movie and fallen through the cracks of culture. On paper, a movie about a 3-foot killer doll sounds like it should be reserved for those of us that like schlocky horror movies. But instead, it rose to the occasion and Chucky became a horror icon that stands amongst the greats. That's partly due to a smart and nuanced script, and it's partly due to Chucky himself. There's no denying that the cast of Child's Play are all top-notch. Chris Sarandon is a staple in the horror community and plays Mike Norris with impressive subtlety.
How did you get them?
Chucky bit me.
Oh, for God's sake.
Catherine Hicks as Karen is endearing and charming. Fans of the franchise often talk about the disappointment they feel that she never returned for any sequels, and Alex Vincent plays Andy with perfect innocence.
You're right, Chucky. She didn't believe me.
But even the three of them couldn't save this movie if Chucky didn't work. But he does work, and there are two reasons for that. The puppetry used in Child's Play was revolutionary for the time, and while I'm not going to go into the behind-the-scenes complexity of operating the animatronics for Chucky, I would recommend seeking out Doc of Chucky. It goes into great detail about the painstaking work the special effects team had to go to in order to bring Chucky to life. However, what I am going to explore is how director Tom Holland chose to use Chucky to heighten his impact. When we're first introduced to Charles Lee Ray, we see him running from the cops. He gets shot and desperately makes his way into a toy store to try to escape. With panic, he realizes he's dying.
Oh, God, I'm dying.
As he stumbles around, he mumbles to himself.
I gotta find somebody.
He's looking for someone to transfer his soul into, because he's trapped inside his dying body. This is symbolized visually by the bars that obscure him partly from view, almost like a jail cell or a cage. After the death of Charles Lee Ray, the camera zooms into the completely motionless, perfectly porcelain-like face of Chucky. Apart from a quick shot of him when Karen is buying him, the next time we see Chucky is when Andy is pulling him out of the box. Here we see the very rudimentary way in which the doll moves his face while talking.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
It's stiff and lacks any real semblance of emotion. For a good portion of the movie, this is how we see him. There are small movements at suspicious times, but still nothing out of the realm of a toy.
Hi, I like to be hugged.
For a first-time viewer in 1988 without decades of sequels and TV shows, this adds doubt. Could the doll actually be alive? Or are we dealing with a cunning and psychopathic child who pays too much attention to the news? These questions add a layer of mystery that, unfortunately as viewers today, we can't really understand.
I saw this one.
Comment below if you were able to watch this for the first time in 1988. Let us know what it was like experiencing it then. The first real confirmation we get that Chucky is alive is when we see his little doll hand reach out to turn the gas on in Eddie's house. Then, at exactly the halfway point of the movie, the brilliant full reveal happens. After Karen returns from the police station, she picks up the good guy box and the batteries fall out. Cautiously, she walks to Chucky and picks him up. She turns him over and checks his battery compartment. Empty. His head turns around and he speaks, but still in the same stiff manner of the doll. She picks him up and begs for him to speak again, threatening to throw him in the fire if he doesn't. And this is when Chucky truly comes out.
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
We see his face contort with emotion for the first time. His fists flail, he kicks, he bites, he rages. This is the scene that sells Chucky. This is the scene that shows what kind of killer doll we're actually dealing with. And its impact is so heavy because Tom Holland restrained the use of the full animatronics until Chucky's true and horrible nature was revealed, allowing the puppetry to shine. Throughout the rest of the film, we see Chucky more and more. We see the nuance in his face as he talks, when he laughs, when he's surprised. But as the movie goes on, we also see him deteriorating.
Ugly doll. Fuck you.
Chucky's face changes in subtle ways as he weakens. His skin gets paler, his eyes get more sunken, his hair turns gray and thins out. All wonderful details and brilliant work that perfectly sells the idea of a serial killer in a doll's body. The other reason Chucky works is Brad Dourif, who has become as synonymous with Chucky as Robert Englund is with Freddy Krueger. Chucky is a vile human being. He cares nothing for other people, he cares nothing for their pain and suffering, and often finds joy in it. He manipulates people for his own gain, going so far as to tell a 6-year-old boy he was sent from heaven by his dead dad in order to play with him.
And he's been sent down from heaven by Daddy to play with me.
He threatens John with death if he doesn't give him information, but then kills him anyway after he gets what he wants. And, of course, he wants to transfer his soul into a little boy's body. His selfishness, hatred, and need for revenge burns so deeply that even after his death, he stares down Detective Norris with fire burning in his eyes. Brad Dourif brings all of this to life with a psychotic rage and a maniacal sense of humor. He finds a way to elevate what the puppetry was already doing so well. He gives Chucky the viciousness needed to sell the act. Every line is delivered with venom and malicious glee.
Give me the boy and I'll let you live. Do you hear me? Give me the boy.
And his laugh has become as iconic as Chucky himself.
I don't believe it.
Take away either of the two parts that make Chucky, and Child's Play doesn't work. It becomes a schlockfest that only the nerdiest genre lovers would seek out. Instead, it became an icon of horror, and it's due to the team's dedication to truly bringing Chucky to life.
I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
The underlying message of this film seems to be more significant today than it was in 1988 when the movie was released. Consumerist culture, especially in America, has grown to a staggering degree in the nearly 40 years since Child's Play was released, and it was obviously becoming a problem even then. Aside from the very blatant allegory of a mom trying to literally save her son's soul from a toy, there are countless commentaries and glimpses at the effects of consumerism throughout the film. We're first introduced to Karen as a single mom struggling to make ends meet. She works at the jewelry counter of a department store. Day in and day out, she sells luxury gold and jewels to the wealthy, while she herself struggles to provide for her son. And on Andy's birthday, she has to decide between work and being with her son.
Mrs. Barclay, are you happy with your job here?
Yes, of course I am.
The emergency being that someone else called out sick and it might hurt the productivity and profit of the department store. But the choice isn't a choice at all. She bows to every whim and whisper of the corporation, or her son doesn't eat. An unfortunate constraint placed on more and more people every year. Karen wants nothing more than to give her son a good birthday, which ultimately means getting him the hottest, new, expensive toy. The toy itself is so important that Karen has to put herself in a dangerous situation by resorting to a back alley deal to buy a stolen doll for 30% of the retail price. And even at 30%, it's stretching what she can afford. But she does it because that's what's important to her son. The toy's importance to Andy is no accident.
I want a good guy to go with it.
I know you do, Andy, but I didn't know about it in time this month to save up for it.
It's the result of direct marketing campaigns to children.
We've got a very important good guy message just for you.
The TV constantly plays in the background, showing commercials that prey on children and their insecurities. It advertises good guys as a solution to being friendless and alone.
Wow!
It even breaks pretense and flat out urges children to tell their parents to buy the doll.
So remember to tell Mom and Dad you want a good guy.
who then have to work overtime for the same corporations who sell the dolls and run the TV ads, perpetuating a vicious cycle. In Child's Play, the TV becomes a means of control. It controls the minds and desires of children so that they're hooked into the consumer's culture from a young age. It controls the plot of the movie itself by giving details that drive the story forward.
Eddie Caputo, reputed accomplice of Charles Lee Ray, has just escaped the Michigan Avenue precinct. More details to follow on the news at 9 next.
The TV has so much control over life and how the characters live that it becomes almost omniscient, predicting and foretelling of Maggie's death on 2 separate occasions before it happens. The first being when she starts her babysitting shift. We get a close-up of her face as the TV proclaims, both foreshadowing that she's going to die and subtly hinting at the way she's going to die. The next time it does this is while she's reading. As she gets up to close the window, the TV states,
"Too bad about the accident."
Yes.
again letting us know that she's about to fall to her death out the window. And okay, I recognize this next statement might be a bit of a stretch, but if we can suspend some disbelief for a second, it could be a fun little thought experiment. The reason Maggie's death is the only one in the film to be advertised like this is because she's the only one that blatantly spits in the face of the system. Maggie's the one who finds the doll for Karen that bypasses the $100 price point.
Max, yeah, the good guy doll. There's a peddler in the alley behind the store, and I think he's got one.
She couldn't care less about schedules imposed on her by work.
Can't just leave my counter. Do you want the damn doll or don't you? Of course I do.
She openly mocks the man who tries to enforce corporate life.
I was only gone for a minute. Have a heart, Criswell. We were just downstairs buying a little boy birthday present.
And instead of staring at the TV in her free time, she reads a book. She can't be controlled by the system. And so the system is mocking her the way she mocks it, bringing me back to the idea of the omniscient television. Even the catalyst for her death is a product of the corporate empire, a tiny toy hammer. Again, I recognize that this theory can be seen as far-fetched.
How did that happen?
But it is an interesting way in which to view the movie. Let me know in the comments below if you think I'm crazy or if you like this theory. However, what isn't a stretch is how we can look at this message of consumerism in Child's Play on a broader scale. While not as in-depth, it does touch on the wide-reaching impacts of this system. Throughout the film, we're shown the negative effects of capitalism on society. Andy walks through poor, deteriorating neighborhoods, and we see people without homes trying to stay warm in the cold Chicago winters. We see what was once new and sought after is now piled up in stacks of junk, and placed amongst it is Chucky, forewarning that even the new hottest things are destined for the same fate, a vicious cycle of waste creation and disposal. Very rarely do we see horror films tackle things in a way that Child's Play does. It's both overt and subtle in its portrayals. There is a very clear villain in Chucky, but there's also an unseen villain, one that you wouldn't even notice unless you really think about it. And perhaps that's by design. Perhaps the underlying message is crafted like it is, to mimic the unseen villain in our own world. After all, art imitates life.
More details to follow on the news at 9 next.
Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing for more.